Sabah everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Pro version of the OnePlus Buds. They just announced them not that long ago, and of course I've had them for about a week or so now that I've been using them and I've been testing them out. I want to share with you guys my opinions of the Pro version of the OnePlus Buds that you can get. Do they justify the price point? Are they truly Pro, and do they offer us some unique features that we haven't seen from OnePlus before? This is TK and this is my review of the OnePlus Buds Pro. Let's check them out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified whenever we have new videos on the channel. Here is the OnePlus Nord 2, and of course we have the OnePlus Buds Pro right there. Now the version that I have is the matte black. In the package you'll get basically replacement ear tips, an extra large or a large and a small, as well as a medium that's already pre-installed. A USB Type A to USB Type C to be able to charge them. There's no brick in the package, but you can charge them from any USB source. And of course, the instruction manuals on how to use these guys. And as far as the battery life, we are rated here to get up to 38 hours of battery life. That's using a full charge paired as well as a fully charged case. And of course, we're able to charge them for 10 hours within 10 minutes if they do end up dying out for us. We have 3 microphones to support and basically noise reduction microphone experience, and I'll demonstrate that for you guys. And then of course, lastly, Bluetooth 5.2 to support them connecting to most devices on the market now. Now for my test, I did actually focus mostly using them on OnePlus devices, and that's mostly because the function of being able to control them is built into these devices. So if you own a OnePlus device and you're running the latest version of the software from OnePlus, you don't really need to download any software at all. You pretty much just have to connect these earbuds, and they show up pretty quick with the quick connect functionality, and you're able to use them and configure them directly from the Bluetooth settings. And I have here on the right side the OnePlus 9 Pro. Now, the OnePlus 9 Pro obviously is designed for the US market. The OnePlus Nord 2 is designed for the European market. So we're going to get slightly different experiences, and I'll explain to you why. So first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and open up the earbuds, and you'll see right away that you can see the battery level on the buds themselves that are 100%. They were charging inside of their case. And one of the other things that we can also see here, that it is actually connected via LHDC, which is one of the codecs that was actually again mentioned on the package. If we go under the little information tab, we can see here that we can connect them via audio, media, contact sharing, and of course use high quality audio. Now toggling this on and off switches you between SBC and going over to LHDC, and that's one of the main things you want to keep in mind. On the Nord 2, that's currently how the configuration is done. You obviously have the ability of going under earbuds, configuring the ANC, so we have noise cancellation, off, and transparency, and this is controlled by pressing and holding the clicks or the buttons on the earbuds themselves for about 2 seconds. Pinching them at the earbuds once will basically play and pause. Doing it twice will basically next track. Pinching them 3 times will do the previous track. And pinch and hold will be able to twice to be able to turn on noise active cancellation and switching you between the profiles that you have considered. We have a built-in Zen mode Air that enables us to have some nice noise, white noise built in, and essentially this allows you to actually give kind of like a OnePlus Zen mode on your smartphone, but for your earbuds to relax. Now, the earbuds fit test actually allows us to be able to find out if you're using the right ear tips or the ear tips that are packaged with it. And of course, it allows you basically test them out, and you can go through the audio ID as well to provide you a good experience. And I went ahead and did run the audio ID, and you're able to turn it on and turn it off even if you did run this setting. One thing to mention though, if I set this up on my OnePlus Nord 2 using OnePlus's built-in system, it also does transfer to the OnePlus 9 as well. Lastly, we have in-ear detection that you're able to turn on, so there is a proximity sensor there. Find My Buds, auto update firmware, which there was an update when I first received them, and of course after that you pretty much allow automatic update on using mobile, and it works perfectly fine. Under the About, you can see here OnePlus Buds. That's pretty much all you're going to get there. And that's pretty much it. All of the configuration and everything that you need to do is literally built in to the Bluetooth settings. You just have to connect them and it's pretty much set. And same thing, if I go over here and I go in the OnePlus 9 Pro, I'll do the exact same thing. And I'll go ahead and connect them. I'm going to take them over from the OnePlus Nord 2 over to the OnePlus 9 Pro. We'll see the exact same experience, although here we definitely get the color of them and of course the battery level. And at this point I can go into the settings tab and pretty much the exact same thing. Now there is a slight difference, and this is going to be fixed with a software update in the near future. You'll notice that I have right now here AAC configuration. So on the OnePlus 9 Pro right now, all we have is AAC and SBC. The OnePlus Nord 2, being that it's running the latest version of Oxygen OS 11.3, this is definitely supporting LHDC. So currently, the OnePlus Nord 2 has the best experience, but again, I think AAC and SBC are going to give us a great experience. By turning them on, you can actually go ahead and cancel here. It'll tell you right there, HD audio. If I switch over to SBC, it'll switch over and says HD audio off. So I always like to keep it on AAC. And of course, calls, audio, contact sharing, everything's pretty much the same. And if we click the headphones, we get exactly the same configuration that we had there. Zen mode, earbuds fit test, audio ID. And as I shared with you guys, the audio ID is not only here, but it also is turned on as well. So again, that shares over between OnePlus devices. And of course, everything else looks and runs pretty much the same. Now, if we want to use these buds with non-OnePlus devices, you do need to download an application called Hey Harmony, and we'll get into that in a second. They connect pretty much the exact same way over Bluetooth 2.0. You can go into the settings, although you don't have any of those options available directly in the audio settings. So what we get here essentially is the ability of connecting them, activating calls and audio, but that's directly in Bluetooth. And then from there on, we need to jump into any app. Now this simulates and gives us similar information as we saw before. We have earbud control. We can jump in here, see the different configurations that we can do. Firmware update, you can also go in there and check in there if there's any new firmware updates. Activation of the noise cancellation, Zen mode air, audio ID. And of course, one thing to mention is that it actually does transfer it now. At one point it was not allowing it, but it does work really nicely. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys want to see what exactly is the codecs that is supported with non-OnePlus devices. At least on the S21 Ultra right now, it does show that it supports AAC and SBC, similar to what we saw with the OnePlus 9 Pro. It does not support aptX or LDAC or basically any other codec. So pretty much AAC is going to be the best configuration that we're going to get outside of the Nord 2 currently. The OnePlus 9 Pro will receive an update to get them all the way up to LHDC. Now, one thing I will say about the buds themselves, they're almost invisible to the eye if you're looking at them straight ahead. Now, these are, again, the matte black. One of the main things you just want to put them is put them in directly into your ear. And then for the most part, as you're looking at me straight ahead, it's almost hard to tell that I have them on. You can see them right there. They actually look and feel very nice. Their fit is very good, and they do have somewhat of a curve that matches the ear, and it sits tight to the skin. So it's not one of those where you put them in and then there's like somewhat of a space. So you definitely feel them on the side of your face. As far as usability, configuration, set them up, they don't have any touch configuration. They pretty much have a clicking option. So there's a button on the side that you can click again, and then you can also press and hold to be able to activate either Zen mode, active noise cancellation, and so on. So all of those functionalities work perfectly great there. I do recommend going through the hearing ID setup so that you're actually able to get the best audio experience for your ears, as well as the ability of using the ear tip test to make sure that you're using the right ear tips for them so that you can get the best active noise cancellation. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys also want to hear exactly how those 3 microphones that they were talking about reducing noise. So when you're on phone calls, when you're in video calls, you want to know exactly how does this sound come from these. So what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to turn on an air purifier and the air conditioning in the office, and I'm going to share with you guys exactly how much noise cancellation these are able to give you when recording our voice. Okay, so we're going to do a quick sample of the audio coming from the brand new OnePlus Buds Pro. Now, they feature a new feature that allows them to actually reduce the noise around us. I have an air conditioner and an air purifier running in the office right now. So depending on how well they're working, you shouldn't be able to hear them. Or if you do, they are at a very, very low decibel, giving us a really good experience from an audio perspective, but still giving us the ability of actually canceling out outside noises. And for a little bit of reference point of how does the actual sound right now is in the office, this is exactly how it sounds. There's an air purifier that's running to my left, and there's an air conditioner that's running right behind where you guys are. So there is actually some noise going around the office that these are able to cancel out entirely. Now, as you can see there, it definitely does sound like there's some kind of work being done on the audio there, but it does actually provide us clear enough audio so that the other party can hear you. And of course, you're able to basically cancel out everything else. And coincidentally, the active noise cancellation is strong enough to cancel that level of volume coming in from the air purifier that I have to my left and the AC on the other side. So one of the things I would probably say is active noise cancellation on these are actually very good. Just make sure you're using the right ear tips. And as far as noise reduction when it comes to the 3 microphones that we have in there, they sound actually pretty good. It's clear enough for the other side to hear you and understand you, but it's also clear enough that it reduces or removes almost all the noise behind you so that you're the star of the show and nothing else is trying to take over the volume for you. You don't have to basically speak up. As far as audio quality and how do they work, I tested them out as I showed you guys with the Nord 2, which has the LHDC, and I've also tested it out with the OnePlus 9 Pro, which has the SBC and AAC, similar to what I got on the S21 Ultra. Now, they don't support simultaneous connection, so you cannot connect them to 2 devices at the same time. But the way I've done this essentially is I've paired them multiple devices, and whenever I need to use them, I just go into the Bluetooth setting and take over control by selecting the buds. And they do switch easily from one to the other. The range on them is actually pretty good as well. I was able to go from one side of the house to the other, leaving my phone on my desk, and they work absolutely fantastic. There's no question that they definitely have a good range. Bluetooth 5.2 works really good. Charging the case pretty much is pretty simple. You use either a USB-C cable that they provided you, or you can also charge them wirelessly. So they definitely are looking into giving you every single pro feature that we typically get from earbuds on the market right now. So definitely focusing on those levels. Now, as far as battery life, they definitely very nice. There's no question that these will last you for a long time. The fit is very comfortable, that you're able to wear them for an extended amount of time without having to worry too much about having them on. And of course, they do charge up pretty quickly. And the fact that we can use wireless charging allows us to actually put them on a wireless charger when we're not using, and I'm talking about the case itself, so that the case always stays charged. That's the nice feature that you want to have on a buds, is the ability of keeping the case fully charged, so that when you need to charge them, you can just basically put them in. And of course, you can always do the one or the other. You don't necessarily have to use both of them when you're making calls or receiving calls per se. Now let's talk about audio and how do they sound. Now, out of the box, they don't have any built-in EQ into the app. As you saw, the Hey Harmony or even the Bluetooth setting does not have any equalizer built-in settings to that. And you're going to have to rely on your smartphone's built-in, either be it Dolby or whichever system that you have, to be able to configure it. And I will have to say that out of the box, they're actually not too heavy based, but they definitely have an emphasis on the mids and lows a little bit more. They sound actually pretty good for dance and EDM. And even when we're going over to acoustics, you can hear almost every single piece. And of course, once we're able to get LHDC on the OnePlus 9 Pro in the US, I think they're definitely going to give us an even better experience, as I was able to use that on the Nord 2, which gave us a slightly better audio experience. So the overall preference here is you're going to get great audio out of the box with an update coming up later on. But I think that right now, the OnePlus Buds Pro truly embody the best that OnePlus has ever offered us. Not only are they offering us really good earbuds with a long battery life, but they're also able to give us the ability of customizing them to our ears. This is something that is new to OnePlus. We haven't seen something like that in the past. Watching movies, content, and of course latency on those things is actually almost non-existent. So there's no issue watching content on your smartphone with this. Although I don't necessarily think of them as great gaming earbuds, this is something that I would probably say they're great for content consumption and content creation. So if you have an application that allows you to record audio using them, you're going to sound pretty decent. And of course, it does allow you to isolate the audio to provide you better experience and more focused experience on the subject, as opposed to having the background noise overpower the subject. The case itself is small enough that you're able to put it in your small pocket in the jeans, so if you're looking to carry these, they're definitely going to be easy to carry and very simple to use. As far as the audio experience, would I say they're better or worse than some of the other options on the market? I'm actually going to look at them in the way they're actually intended to be. They're the best that OnePlus has to offer. And if you've ever enjoyed using OnePlus Buds in the past, either the neckband style or even the true wireless ones that they've offered us in the past, these are a step forward in a massive way, and they're not going to disappoint. Definitely OnePlus knocked it out of the park, and of course I'm still working on the Nord 2 video, so I'll be putting out some more content there. But I'm happy to see that at least LHDC is supported on the Nord 2, and it is coming to more devices in the near future. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of the OnePlus Buds Pro? Of course, I'll give you guys some links in the description below if you guys like to pick them up. Otherwise, like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you to OnePlus for allowing me to check out the OnePlus Buds Pro, and I'll see you in the next video.